So it's good for our equity, it's good for Bitcoin, and it's good for investors.
Breaking news, Michael Saylor. 100% just changed the game for Bitcoin adoption.
I think over the next 4 years, everything you could want that's good is going to happen. So the idea that you could actually buy Bitcoin at 80,000 right now is a joke.
If you are holding Bitcoin, be sure you check out today's entire video. This concerns you. The news is this Saylor has partnered with a firm named Rex Shares, and they've launched the BMAX ETF, making it the first ever ETF fund, which permits both retail and institutional investors to invest in convertible bonds of companies. Having Bitcoin on their balance sheet, this 20-second CNBC clip details exactly what the new product is.
And now a new first-of-its-kind ETF is giving investors access to convertible corporate bonds issued by companies holding Bitcoin on their balance sheet. It's the Rex Bitcoin Corporate Treasury Convertible Bond ETF, ticker BMAX. Top holdings include bonds from companies like Strategy, Mara Holdings, and Riot Platforms. And it was developed in partnership with Strategy's executive chair, Michael Saylor.
And it was created in collaboration with Strategy's executive chair, Michael Saylor. Make no mistake about this. This product is revolutionary. Why do investors need this? Well, listen to Michael Saylor explain exactly this here.
Okay, so corporate convertible debt bond ETFs exist. But this is the first one, Michael, that is for specifically companies holding Bitcoin. Is that right? Why do investors need this?
We were the largest issuer of convertible bonds last year. We're the largest issuer of convertible bonds this year. Our convertible bonds are the best performing converts, probably the best performing bonds issued in the past 5 to 10 years. And it turns out that Strategy's convertible bonds have outperformed Bitcoin over this time period since issuance. And so you get Bitcoin performance, but you get the downside protection of a bond. I think this is really critical. And this ETF is really important because retail investors could never buy these bonds, and institutional investors have a difficult time buying the bonds. So BMAX is it's plugging an important gap in the entire crypto economy because it's providing easy institutional access and retail access to all of these crypto or Bitcoin-backed convertible bonds. I think it'll be good for the investors, it'll be good for the issuers, and it'll be good for Bitcoin in general.
Because it's offering easy institutional access and retail access to all of these crypto or Bitcoin-backed convertible bonds, I think it'll be beneficial for the investors. It'll be a good thing for the issuers, and will be a good thing for Bitcoin in how you can make money general. So grasp exactly what this Bitcoin product is. It takes the stability of debt and the potential equity gains tied to Bitcoin's performance in the market. Meaning, this is another big step toward bringing Bitcoin fully into traditional financial markets. Let Michael Saylor walk you through exactly how you can make money off of all this. It's really fascinating to see the magnitude of Bitcoin financial products being developed now just 4 years ago. This was all a pipe dream.
What is an example of how an investor could make money on this kind of strategy, holding the convertible debt, versus holding Bitcoin, or versus holding your shares, or holding your shares through a leverage position? I don't know if you can give us some illustrative math.
When you're holding the convertible bond, you're getting like a 70 delta instrument sometimes. So you're getting like 70% of the upside of the equity, but you've got the downside protection. And that means you might be getting all of the upside of BTC because Strategy is geared to kind of be 1.5x Bitcoin. So if you want a 1.5x roller coaster, 1.5 volatility, 100 vol, and you want to shoot for, what's been 90 to 100% ARR, you take the MSTR equity. If you want straight BTC, you buy BTC or you buy a spot Bitcoin ETF, and it's like 60 vol, 60 ARR. But if you like the idea of kind of getting the upside but having downside protection, you need a company with Bitcoin on its balance sheet to sell you a convertible bond that gives you that upside warrant, but then gives you the credit protection. And that's what this convertible bond fund is all about.
So the bottom line, 80K range is a gift. Bitcoin will 100% go up here. Is this the more financial products like this that come to market, the more successful that these products are, the better it is for Bitcoin's price, the better it is for the supply high and demand dynamics around Bitcoin. And of course, as you know, the more capital we raise through this mechanism, the more Bitcoin we purchase, right? And more smarter leverage we obtain. So it's beneficial for our equity. It's beneficial for Bitcoin. and it's beneficial for investors. So I believe it's a win-win-win. So the reality that you can still purchase Bitcoin in the $80,000 range currently is actually a total joke, particularly when you consider the scale of Bitcoin financial products that will receive introduced, integrated, and launched within the next 4 years.
Really kind of at a perfect inflection point, because it's not a slow motion train wreck, because that's the wrong metaphor. It's the opposite of a slow motion train wreck. It's a slow motion parade of wonderful things. They're all going to happen. We know they're going to happen. There's a 98% chance they're going to happen. I just can't tell you exactly the date they'll happen, but I think over the next 4 years, everything you could want that's good is going to happen. And so the market is discounting that. The market doesn't believe any of that. All right. So the idea that you could actually buy Bitcoin at 80,000 right now is a joke. What I said is, when the bank lets you buy it, when Bank of America lets you buy it, and you can just order it and buy $1 billion at a time, it'll cost you $1 million. And when the bank, when your traditional banker recommends it to you because it's growing 20% a year and it's risk-free in their opinion, it's going to cost you $10 million. And so you can wait until it's easy and risk-free and you'll pay 100 times as much. Or you can do the research and jump through a few hoops right now for Bitcoin and you get a 99% discount. With all these other things.
So I'm honestly surprised how bearish everybody is. Even Tom Lee thinks that Bitcoin and crypto will 100% be the best performing asset class this year. Still,
from the shorter lens, this incoming administration, I think, is doing things that look very disruptive at the moment, but I think structurally are really positive, because it's a path for U.S. deficit to normalize, and I think indeed, I think animal spirits are coming back, even though things like these consumer confidence reports don't show it. And we know that there is tangible drivers of productivity, including AI, in front of us, that justify, investors allocating capital. And of course, there's still plenty of disruption ahead, including crypto. And I think Bitcoin is still our favorite idea for this year. So we think it'll be the best performing asset class, even better than gold.
Billionaire investor Tim Draper says he believes that Bitcoin's price still hits $250,000 by the end of this year because fiat only goes down in value over time.
People want a prediction, sure, 250,000 by the end of this year. But
end of 2025.
Yeah, but what's really going on is we should really be not comparing it to the dollar anymore, because the dollar is, all fiat currencies are going to fall against Bitcoin. They continue to fall against Bitcoin. People look at Bitcoin versus the dollar, they're looking at the Bitcoin price in dollars. If you look at it slightly differently, you flip it around, Bitcoin's to the dollar, you see the dollar just falling off the map. But people aren't looking at it that way. I think you should be comparing Bitcoin to, how much, a dozen eggs or whatever it is. I think that's a better way to imagine it, because, it's almost not fair to compare Bitcoin to the dollar, because if you believe, as I do, that the dollar is an antiquated currency that is not long for this world, in the next 5, 10, 50 years, that's not even a fair comparison.
So about this possible winter, are you really not feeling the cold?
Look, if you're going to invest in Bitcoin, a short time horizon is 4 years, a mid-time horizon is 10 years. The right time horizon is forever. Warren Buffett said, if you wouldn't hold it for 10 years, you shouldn't hold it for 10 minutes. So if you look at the course of 4 years, no one's ever lost money over 4 years holding Bitcoin. And if you look at, our experience, we started buying it at $10,000 and now it's up by a factor of 4. So given the right time horizon, you're fine. So it's a blessing and a curse. The blessing is it makes it the most exciting, interesting thing in the financial universe everywhere in the world. And the curse is it can induce anxiety for people that have a short attention span or are focused on a narrow time horizon.